I'll give you guys something a little different to look at, talk about perhaps. So this is it's a radiator system. So this goes upstairs. Here's your supply and return for radiator system. This is the old cloth, I call it cloth wrapped electrical wires. Just dangling there. They didn't secure them to the side. And they won't be secured to the side now after all these years. They will not be secured to the side. This one's got a nice little loop to it, right? That could be a danger putting back materials here. This is a plaster wall. Pretty tall ceiling here. The old lightings. I'm going to keep this old lighting. Look what they can do. It's kind of different, you know. It's something character for the house. This is a 1900s built house, and at some point they added this electrical system. All right, I mean electrical wiring and etc. So what do we have? What do we have here? What is this? It's just a nailer version of a nailer to get the slats on, then put the plaster on. Same thing here. Dimensionally, they wanted a small wall. They didn't want it to eat up real estate, so they just turned this on its side, and that's just a nailer again, plaster, and slats turned on the sides. It doesn't matter just as long as you get it on there. It's a backer board, if you will, for their plaster coating. It interlocks. It helps lock in even with the gaps there. It will help lock this piece. It is a keyway for the face, if you will. So I want to break this off here. It can make that plaster weak. So when you guys run into plaster walls and you push on it, sometimes you're just pushing on the plaster that's separated from the face because it lost its key, if you will. This is that little mud that comes through. When it goes in there and dries, that acts as a key, a wedge. So right here, for example, that could open, if there were more of that in a large area, it can become loose by bumping into the wall, etc. So this would all be tight. So this is what tight plaster looks like on the other side of the wall. This is what it looks like on this side of the wall. And loose plaster would be a large section like this, where you've dropped, where this is broken off, or it's not been pushed through. In this case, you can see it present. Here would be an indicator of it's so smooth, but that would be a loose. Bear with me. That could possibly be a loose section, and if you knock on it, sorry, you're the sound of it. But you push on it, and I see it's still tight. So it's so much for the cracks. All right, back to this. Just wanted to explain that plaster crack stuff. Now that board is going. It's not all of it. It would be plastered, but using a concrete-based board, basically a concrete board and plaster. Why plaster instead of joint compound? This is the base level of the plaster right now, and I use fiber for the seam for their butt. But why plaster? Give me a second. This is why plaster is better than joint compound. Plaster will harden like cement, if you think of it like that, like concrete. Nothing. If this was joint compound, which I'll show you in just a minute, I had to set this thing up. Set this up over a week ago, and I haven't got around to finish this experiment with you. See that? That's just me pulling off the plaster. Let's grab some water out of the tank here, and let's come up to here. This is spackle, joint compound. You see it coming off? It's coming off. Moisture will eat up joint compound. Doesn't care how many days it's been on there, it will lose. So this is why the advantage of plastering your walls in a bathroom opposed to joint compound. Joint compound, moisture will eat it up, and it's a material it can eat. That's why the plaster walls are superior. And here's your base. Here's your finish. So that's the base, and this is the finish, and you can see how the thickness of it. I'll tie back into that, but instead of using a base like this, I just use a concrete board. Concrete backer. Let's see if I can show you what this is looking like. Here's my sample that I use for you guys. This concrete backer board. This will go over here. That's going in going in. Right after I get the got a plumber's going to finish making my connection here. Oh, this board here, I'll put this in. This board is going here, and it will be the nailer for the cabinet for a pedestal sink. It was the idea, but now I'm going to put a cabinet in here that's going to be. It's really a beautiful cabinet. I was going to sell it, but now it's so beautiful, I'm never going to get the price out of it, so I'm going to use it back in here. I won't feel good about just bailing on it so cheaply, selling it so cheaply on like Craigslist. So it's going to eat up a lot of real estate to centerline in this wall. It's going to eat up real estate towards the heater. The cabinet was in here was also a cabinet that ate up real estate there. So, you know, it's going back to the way it was. So the heat will have to work its way out of this compartment up, obviously, and around, and of course heating the cabinet itself. So it's going to make it kind of inefficient, but only a few months out of the year. After that, it's not inefficient. It's no longer not inefficient anymore, and it's going to be a more enjoyable location for the cabinet, for me in the cabinet. I'll hopefully show that near the end. I did a video on this already showing, I think I did, concrete base. How to make a concrete floor base. I think I showed it over here, showing the old school form of let me pull this out of the way, give me a minute. Of floor supports for concrete. See the thickness of the concrete floor here? So what happens, they did the floor joists and they doubled up on them. That's double, it's just chamfered a bit. And they wanted that because they learned that to be able to chamfering it, they can tie that little bit of concrete over into there. And then another, the type of thin set product with the wire mesh goes over top of this to control cracking. That's their version of fiber, if you will. The wire mesh, to help control cracking. The tension is what you were going for. It looks like this. So over there, looks like what you're looking at right here. The concrete comes that close. And then the thin set bed goes on, which obviously is not bonding to the layer below, which I've removed. What it looks like is you put this ledger against the floor joist, a ledger. You lay these boards down. You just cut them in here and drop them in there. And they're like 3/4 inch board, whatever you want to do in there. And then you add the thickness of this concrete. It makes a composite flooring system of a real type. Not of a type, of a real type. You know, think about it. It's got bridging. It's got connections. It all ties together. Yeah, there's some dead load here that would want to break that, but all these years show that doesn't happen. You can do all the math you want, but the years will show you whatever math you're doing should come to the same answer that we're talking those many years. That was a hole for a shower that I plan on putting in here, but I'm stuck on stupid because I don't know where to go with the clawfoot tub here, which would put the tub back over there, the head back over there, or the shower stall. You know, I start adding things like, you know, grabbing this and that and thinking about it. And until I'm very happy with it, I don't make a move. This is my house, so I'm not making a move yet. But now I'm ready to make the move. The cabinet's going in over here. This, I'm still not sure. By the time I get that cabinet in, which will be in the next few hours, and of course, you know, this video is going to be loaded up. I'm not sure when I'm loading this video up. But the next few hours, I'll decide whether the clawfoot's going back in or the shower stall. These, if you can see, these panels are 3 foot. Look at that, 3, 6, 9, and some change. This is a huge real estate here I have. Now that's an odd duck, right? That thing there. I never took it apart. I have no idea what the intentions of it is. Maybe one day I'll take it apart, and that won't happen ever. So this is what it looks like. And it's a huge window here. It's a beautiful round window. Let's see this window. You can see it. It's old plaster with the turned edges. And of course, you live out Midwest, or out west. That's just typical for you guys out there. It's not typical out this direction, out here, to see rounded edges. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. The cabinet's going back in. This will come in and out. You see up ahead it when I put the floor down. I just lift that up for elevation and put it on some wood. That little bit I'm not worried about. I can use a rapid set product to close that in And we're talking in less than a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes, I can continue the floor when I finally put it down. It's not going to be that tile. It's going to be a different tile. A marble that I was able to get. Somebody was getting rid of a bunch of marble, and I grabbed a bunch of it. Here's my the plaster. You can see that's off there. It doesn't matter. Just drop it down. I know I'm going to continue it. But it's fibered meshed, and you can see you can push on the seams all you want, and you won't get a break. I don't even know where the seam. I think it's up here. So this transition is up here somewhere. It's still bellied, so it'll be built out with the finished plaster. Yeah, I'll go with finish. I'm looking at the mount. It's a finished plaster at this point. All right, so this will all get tied in. All these cracks, they get the fiber mesh. They get the fiber mesh. The difference now is this texture. I have to duplicate it or just transition. I'll probably just transition because I believe most people can't catch onto the visual sheen of it unless it's in one strip. I learned that a long time ago, especially with colors. You can paint this color. You try to match these colors. You don't have to. Just come very close. And right now, they look like different colors to you and I, but I'm looking at it from my naked eye, and it's not. It's because the lighting is doing that, giving it 1, 2, 3 colors. Let's see if I can prove that point and come this direction a little bit. Maybe I can get in real close and see it. Now, it's still looking like 2 colors, isn't it? That's that lighting. And so that has a different color balance than over here. Well, you saw it right there. There it is. And now it's going back. The sensor's picking up different color balance. Okay, so I'm going to load this up for you guys and show you what I'm up to. These are coming out of the floor. I can cut them and relocate them. But I want to stay center line. And the only drawback is that my cabinet's only going to have about 6 inches from here. But it's a beautiful cabinet. So I thought I'd show you this beautiful cabinet. Look at this thing. I got that all from a guy that somehow was using it as part of his display selling hot tubs. And I don't know why he did that. I recall something that he was also a contractor of some type, and he had it there, and I said, what a beautiful piece. And he said, I'm willing to sell it. And I don't know if he sold it to me for $400 or $200 anymore. I can't remember. I've had it I bought it from him a few years back, and I just haven't found a location to put it in. So sometimes I'll buy things and just sit on it. But look at that shape of that door even. The dust is included. It's got a, see the shape of it? The profile. So how cool is that? I think it's beautiful. I like the details here. Details on the door. That sink there will then be pressed, like I said, on this one side. It will be pressed. Sorry about the radio. I know I turned the camera on you guys, but oh well. Let's look at the faucet. I normally don't like left and right faucets, but with this all in one piece like that, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's copper, obviously. You can see the patina is coming through. That comes off, no sweat. All right, take care.